This is the Slow Wardrobe. Come and have a look. Hello, welcome to episode 131 of the Slow Wardrobe podcast. My name is Linda. In this episode, I have two sections to share with you. First of all, an update on my knitting antics over the Christmas period and the first half of January. My gosh, can you believe it? We're already halfway through January. And in the second part of the episode, I have put together 4 outfits times 4 sizes, so 16 outfits together, all together, that are all made up out of the ready to ship layer cakes that are still on sale throughout January. 33% off all ready to ship layer cakes to vastly reduce the stock of ready-made layer cakes that I've been holding here at the studio, in no small part because we're doing a lot less shows. And of course it's great to have a stock of garments to fall back on when I put outfits together for all these episodes, but it was just too much. And thank you so much for those of you who have already placed an order. If not, then maybe this episode will inspire you. And if you're not interested in buying any layer cake at the moment, then I hope that the combination of garments that I've put together in this section will inspire you. But first off, my knitting. I started the Christmas period by casting on this jumper, which is a jumper by Jackie Bogg, a designer that I've knitted from before, who does lots and lots of lovely Fair Isle designs like the one next to me. And I cast it on in the car on the way to the Netherlands, where I spent the Christmas week with the kids, 2 of which are living in the Netherlands already. The third one is up in Edinburgh doing his master's degree there, and he came down in time to hitch a ride with us. So the 3 of us set off on Sunday the 22nd of December to go to the Netherlands to have our Christmas days there, and we came back a week later to have New Year's Eve back at our old trusty address here in Greyshot. But I cast on my jumper on the way there, and I did lots and lots of knitting already while we were in Holland. I was surprised how much of the knitting I managed to get done there already. But I just find that these kind of Fair Isle projects are particularly engaging, and yeah, I can't wait to see the next bit coming up. I have to say though that I've been making color changes. And it was not because I didn't like the original colorway. The original colorway, I'll show a photograph of it right here, is beautiful as well. But the kit that I bought from Jackie at last year at Unravel in Farnham was a kit for the small size, one of the small sizes. And I wanted to make a much larger size because I didn't want it to be too small and too fitted, etc., etc. So I thought, well, if I buy the small size kit, then I can use some of the yarns that I still have from Jackie in my stash to make up the difference and just add colors as and when I see fit. So compared to the original photograph, this is what I've been working on, and these are the kind of colors that I've added, mostly yellows and oranges, etc., to kind of broaden the palette a little bit. But I've specifically on purpose steered clear of greens, for example, and I've kept it relatively simple. The original color palette, as you could see, is quite simple. So not simple as in boring, there are lots of colors in there, but simple in terms of color combinations. And I wanted to add some interesting complementary colors without pulling it all the way to the other side of the color wheel, if you like, with blues, more blues and greens. So the messy front that you see, this is a knitting needle, this is not a split in the knitting, but you can see a bit of a split in the knitting here because I've decided that I want to make a cardigan out of this rather than a jumper. So there's some extra stitches in the front I'm going to steek this as soon as the body of the jumper is finished. The other thing that happened was that I was knitting the biggest size on needles that are 2 sizes smaller than what is called for in the pattern, and my gauge is even at 2 sizes smaller. My gauge is still particularly wider than the original. So when it came to knitting the yoke, I found that if I would have been knitting to gauge, the yoke would have been far too wide, and I really do question whether, on the basis of a chest circumference, a bust circumference of 125 centimeters, I'll put the corresponding inches down below, but on the basis of 125 centimeter bust, the yoke at the start, so that's this section, that hashed section here, would have been, I think, 184 centimeters all around. So this plus the sleeves, I think it would have been too big. But anyway, in my case, it was far too big. So I ended up with a yoke here that measured 2 meters in circumference. And even though that is only 6 inches, 16 centimeters more than it would have been if I would have been knitting to gauge, it was enormous. I'll show you a couple of photographs here that really demonstrate that I had far too much fabric at the yoke. So I had already knitted a big part of the yoke when I tried it on, and I could see that this was far too big. So I've taken it all the way back to the point where you connect the sleeves to the body, and made a big reduction in stitches there, a second reduction after this first section, and based on what you can see here now, I have measured myself, saying, okay, so I know that I'm quite happy with this. It's still roomy, but it looks decent on me now, as long as I make sure that in the next section I reduce the number of stitches fast enough to end up with a nice flat lying yoke. So I have measured myself from this point around, so I know that, say, 3 inches approximately, about 7 or 8 centimeters from where I am now, I know what the circumference needs to be at that point. So I can then work back, and on the basis of knowing which motifs are going to come next, I can choose my rounds carefully where I reduce without affecting the pattern. And I can keep knitting and work this into a yoke that'll work for me. So that is just a word of caution, that if you knit this particular pattern, I'll put the name down here as well. Of course, I've forgotten it again. If you knit this particular pattern in one of the bigger sizes, beware of the circumference and the number of stitches as you work up that yoke to make sure that it ends up fitting. The other thing that I'm doing is I'm probably going to end up adding motifs, because you can see that I've got another like 5 or so inches to knit until I actually get to the top of the neckline. It's probably more like 6 inches if I look here, because of course I've had to kind of pin up these sleeves in a place that they will not fall down. But this being a mannequin, of course, she doesn't have proper arms. So I've chosen the points of the shoulder. But in reality, this, of course, will be more of a nice sloping line around the edge of my shoulders, rather than being pulled up and looking almost square like it does now. This is not completely realistic, but it's the best I could do to show you. So I think, you know, another 6 inches of yoke to knit. The pattern doesn't have 6 more inches between here and the neckline, so I will just add 1 or 2 extra motifs in there in order to achieve a neckline that works for me. I don't mind making modifications like that when I'm knitting. I quite enjoy it, and so it doesn't really bother me. I'm more than happy with the pattern. I love the yarn, the hot butter yarns. It's a very interesting Masham Blueface Leicester blend that is UK made, dyed by Jackie. Love every bit of it, and a bit of improvisation and make sure that I end up with a garment that fits me and that I enjoy wearing. I don't mind at all. Now, one of the reasons that this isn't done yet, because I would have been almost done in time for this podcast with this knit if it weren't for pulling it back altogether, was also that when I was starting to have doubts about measurements and I needed to recalculate, I was keeping this work aside for working out during daytime or the weekend, and whenever I sat down and just wanted to do some mindless knitting, or when I was watching TV, for example, I cast on a pair of socks. And I have just finished those in time, so I can show you those. They're nice and slubby, slightly oversized and roomy. This is a sock yarn from Biche et Bûche, Le Sock Yarn, I think it's called. And I am a bit baffled by this yarn because I haven't wet it yet, so I don't know how it's going to bloom and how it's going to fill out, but it just seems so much thinner than one would expect for a yarn that runs 400 meters per 100 grams, which is what it says on the ball band. But I have knitted these socks on 2¼ millimeter needles, and you can almost see through them. They are just not, they don't have the solidity of a normal yarn of this thickness. Now the heels and toes are, I'm using some of the West Yorkshire Spinners yarn that I had left over from the sections of the sleeves that I had knitted with my yellow stripe jumper. I'll show you a picture of the yellow stripe jumper, and you can see that there's like a pinky raspberry color at the end of the sleeves with spots on it. That is, those spots are knitted in Le Petit Lamb's wool by Biche et Bûche, and the pink yarn is this particular yarn from the West Yorkshire Spinners. And this is a standard sock yarn, 400 meters per 100 grams, and it's definitely thicker and more substantial than this sock yarn is. What I haven't tried yet, and I only just thought of that, is to actually weigh the socks to see how much they weigh, because having knitted this pair, the ball that I've been knitting from still looks quite big, and you would have thought after knitting a pair of socks it would have reduced to at least about half his size, but I think these socks are very light. But we'll see what happens when I wet them. I absolutely love the texture and the structure. I have no idea yet how they wear because they feel so thin. And the needle size that's prescribed on the ball band is bigger than I used. I think it's prescribed as 2.5 to 3.5 millimeter. I used 2¼ so I'm at a bit of a loss, to be honest. But like I said, I absolutely love the socks. I adore them. I think the whole idea of just wearing them slopped down on my feet with some nice chunky shoes like the ones that I'm wearing today, I think I'd love that. I'm wearing the same shoes in the next section, if you think, what is she on about? Just shoes with laces. They look like men's shoes almost. So comfortable, I love them. Anyway, I digress. That's probably the shoes that I will wear with these socks. And like I said, love the yarn, love the end result, but we'll see how they wear. I can't imagine that they stand up to wear particularly well. They've got nylon in them, but they just don't look dense enough to stand up to regular wear. I'll keep you posted on that. So anyway, that was it for my knitting. I was planning to resume my crochet antics over the Christmas period. I wanted to do more little shapes, like the little trees and whatever that I had knitted. I had crocheted. I'd crocheted this little figurine, this little doll that is now hanging from the mirror in one of our cars. I wanted to do more of those. Didn't do any of that. I just got stuck into my jumper knitting and just grabbed that every time I wanted to do any knitting. Did not resume my Tessellation Nation blanket yet either. And I reckon some proper free chunk of weekend time is the only way I'm going to get back into that, because like I said, I need to do a bit of proper planning. I was hoping to do that, but I didn't. I got seduced by my jumper. So that was it for knitting this time. Let's move on. I won't hold you in suspense any longer if you were. Here is Layercake. Enjoy. Welcome to an overview of a bunch of outfits that are still available, garments thrown together to make nice layer cakes in the discount special offer that is still running now in January. As you may have read in the newsletter last week, I decided to extend this offer into January because I realized that if I would have received that newsletter from me just before Christmas, I would have gotten very excited about getting something in the sale, but I would not necessarily have had the bandwidth with all the busyness that the holiday season offers to actually select something and order it. And there is lots left. Thank you so much for all of you who have already chosen one or more garments, but there's a bunch of them left. And what I have tried to do to illustrate that there are still lots of individual garments as well as outfits is I have put together 4 sets of outfits in sizes 0, 1, 2 and 3. Not just to show you what outfits you can make, but also to give you some inspiration. The other plan I had was to show you examples of non-layer cake outfits that you would then add one piece of layer cake to maybe start a collection, or to see how much you can impact the look of an outfit by just adding one layer cake piece. However, in preparation of this session, I realized that actually it would be really useful to dedicate a specific whole episode to that. So I'm going to stick to just the discount outfits this week. Here we go. Number 1 is an outfit in size 0, which is a white shirt in 0, then a 0 petite length play suit in a blue cross weave, and then a tail smock in size 0 in the small check. Now with the tail smock, you may remember that it's really short in the front, so you effectively create a look of trousers and a top by wearing it over the top of a play suit. And then you can see how the back of the tail smock hangs a lot lower and creates a lovely sweep. The tail smock is actually a really interesting garment to combine with a non-layer cake outfit. About that more in a different episode. So, moving her back. Next to me is an outfit in size 1, and I forgot to start with saying that all 4 of these outfits have started with a play suit and then dress it up around that play suit. And I've done that with all 4 of the sets. There's one particular garment that's the starting point, and then dressing that up with other layer cakes. So, play suits. The red cross weave is next in a size 1. That is a size 1 regular length, and that is worn over the top of a sangria love top, a cocoon love top. And it shows how beautifully the sangria and the red cross weave goes together. And then over the top of that is a medium length duster in the large check. You can see, of course, with the duster that it is shorter in the front and longer in the back, creates a sweep, a bit like the tail smock, but not quite as extreme. So in the front, it will cover that medium length, it will cover your tummy, but in the back, it will hang almost down to your knees. Then I'm wearing a size 2 in the regular length, the play suit in Rivulet, size 2 regular. I can't believe that hasn't sold yet because it's such a beautiful, versatile color. And over the top of that, oh, first of all, underneath I'm wearing a blue cocoon love top in a size 2, and then over the top I'm wearing a step top in the small size. As you may remember, step tops are going in 2 sizes, small and large. This is a small, and you can see how oversized step tops are. So you can, up to a size 2 layer cake, a small step top will still fit you, depending on how oversized you want it. Of course, you can see that it's not quite as oversized on me as the large step top would be, but again, choice. And this is another example where a shorter top turns your play suit almost into a pair of trousers, rather than that full length outfit effect. Of course, the full length outfit can be really accentuated if you're wearing something like a duster by wearing it open, and you immediately get that long line that I've also tried to show with the size 3 next to me here. This is a size 3 long in a cap suit, so you can see that it's got the short sleeves, the grown on short sleeves, so it really covers your shoulders completely. Worn underneath is a size 3 anytime top in grey. I've stayed with those light colors. And then over the top is a synergy duster, so a sleeveless duster. Here's one with sleeves, then the synergy duster is without the sleeves, and of course you then get the cap sleeve of the cap suit peeping out underneath. This, of course, the long length of the duster, the synergy duster in the large new check. Those really dramatic, high contrast checks, but all in very muted colors. So very suitable for a very classic palette, or a palette that is favored in those muted shades of the dark black currant, for example, and dark teal, and the charcoal gray, the natural, all go really well with it. But if you have a single bright color, like for example this red play suit, then wearing something like that over the top of a red play suit will go really well too. So that's the first few outfits, play suits. Let's move on to 4 outfits, all built around dresses. Second set of outfits, all based on dresses, a dress as the starting point. I'll start with my size 3. This is a pair of baggies in the large regular length, which is why this lady has shrunk as well, because a regular length baggies will of course be cropped on a tall frame, but of course on a shorter frame they will automatically be full length again. So as a pair of baggies in magenta in the size large regular, and over the top of that a cross weave called papaya in the cross weave that has magenta in it, so it's got that hot pink in it, which is why it's a lovely color to combine with a magenta in the easy dress. And as you can see here, I've shown the easy dress with that little kind of collar that can stand up if you wanted to, filled up with a scarf. This is one of the big wool shawls. This is a wool silk blend. This one is not on sale, but I want to show you how effective it is when you wear it with an outfit that has both orange and pink in it, because the shawl has got orange and pink in it, but also to demonstrate how effective it is to have that little cowl neck, stand-up cowl neck, well, that can stand up, of the easy dress. And then of course if you remove the shawl, you can either wear the easy dress with that cowl neck just kind of floppy as it sits, or you can fold it over. It is sewn on the bias, so if you fold it over it will actually stay. It'll stay folded over like such, kind of almost as a regular neckline. and looking very nice as well. So you can wear it with a necklace or anything else, or just as is, or a different top underneath, or a top with a high neck, for example. So there are a number of different options with the neckline of the easy dress. So that's outfit in size 3. Then I'm in a size 2, and one of the outliers in this outfit is the pair of slackers that I'm wearing, because I'm wearing slackers in the size small regular length. And that is just to show you that if you like the idea of the drop crotch trousers, but you don't want them big and bulky and oversized, then you can size down. My bum is a size 20, UK size 20, and the small size slackers will fit around that comfortably. I can still move around, I can sit down, my tummy doesn't stretch the fabric when I sit down, I can easily get into the pockets, and of course with the regular length I've got a pair of cropped trousers. Of course, if I would go to the long length, then these trousers would be 10 centimeters or 4 inches longer. But these are still in stock in small, in regular length, and the hibiscus color, which is the same color as the dress I'm wearing. I'm wearing a love dress in a size 2 regular with same color hibiscus, and over the top of that a mini tabard in the size 2 as well, in the color red cross weave. So the color that was the play suit in the previous set is now the color of my mini tabard, and you can see how it changes the look of a love dress by just throwing a mini tabard, or even, you know, you could go for a long tabard or a smock, but I wanted to show you a mini tabard and how you can still very easily get to your pockets, and it just adds a little bit extra. There are a whole bunch of mini tabards still left, and of course they're also 33% off. So moving on to the size 1, this is another one of our dresses, the cap gather dress, cap sleeves and the gather. Sorry about that. This is a size 1 regular in nightshade. Nightshade is a fabric that we've run out of, so any garments that we've got left in nightshade are going to be the last ones, because this color is out of stock, sadly. The size 1, as you know, with the love dress and the, well, all the sizes, with the love dress and the cap dress, the cap top, the cap tunic, the gather dress, they're all based on that same ample shape with the dolman sleeves. So that means that you can potentially size down. If you are in doubt, do check with me. As you can see, a size 1 would fit me comfortably, but a size 2 does not look out of place on even and kind of in between size that I am at the moment with the size 1 and size 2 across the Layercake collection. So this is a size 1 dress in the regular length, and underneath is a pair of the breeches, the lantern breeches in the large regular length in Looking for Lilac, kind of softly coordinated with the dress. And then last but not least, our little size 0 in a turmeric love top, the cocoon love top. Over the top of that is a size 0 regular charcoal crossweave tulip dress, and over the top of that is the last joy jacket that we have in stock in the chartreuse herringbone. As a crossweave, I've called that color hay, but in the herringbone it's still called chartreuse because I've stuck with the original colors that the herringbones are based on. So it's the chartreuse herringbone, lined as they all are in the natural linen, because the herringbone is a cross weave between the color that it's named after, in this case chartreuse, and then in a herringbone weave with the natural linen, which is why we've gone for the natural linen lining. And I'm saying lining, but of course the whole jacket can be reversed. You can find more about that on the website, but this is the last one in the ready to ship selection, that of course is also a third off. So on to, oh, and I've left it in terms of trousers. I haven't added trousers. We don't always have to wear trousers, of course, with our dresses. But if you do like the idea of trousers with a dress, then there are lots of different options, either cropped or full length. So on to the next starting point for an outfit. Outfit number 3. All starting with, what did I start with? Trousers. Completely forgot about it already. Starting point trousers to the outfit. To my right, the size 3 is wearing a pair of extra large, regular length palazzos. Between getting her dressed, getting the others dressed, getting myself dressed, I've already forgotten again. I checked this before I dressed her. So a pair of palazzos, extra large, regular length. On top of that, a slate anytime top in size 3. Then a smock in size 3, of course, as well, in the royalty cross weave, which is a beautiful purple that is the same purple that is in black currant, but then cross woven with teal. So it's a beautiful shimmery color. And then coming back with black again, following the black of the palazzos with a black short duster. So short duster worn over the top of a smock. Apologize for the coughing. Of course, I had a cold over the Christmas period. It's typical, isn't it? And it hasn't gone completely, so bear with. So the black of the duster is the summer weight, and the black of the palazzos is the sturdy weight. So when you see the two blacks next to each other, they're virtually the same, but not completely. There is a very slight perceived difference in color, and that's purely because of the difference in weave. The black of the summer, or all the summer weight linens, are woven with a slightly thinner thread than the sturdy weight, and that thicker thread ends up getting hit slightly differently by the light. So even though the colors are the same, they look slightly different because this black of the summer weight is slightly smoother, and the black of the sturdy weight has slightly more texture because it's woven with the thicker thread. As a result, it eyes slightly differently. This is slightly smoother, that's more textured, and that textured black impresses slightly darker. That is a difference that you probably lose over time when you wash them all a couple of times, but I did want to warn you about that in advance, let you know. And of course you end up losing that difference completely when you're wearing a different color in between. So moving on to me, I've got slackers on, this time in the large size and the long length. So full length on me and more roomy around the legs, just the way I like it. Then I have a love tunic that I'll show you in a minute in the size 1 in this case, because I want to show you what a size 1 looks like on a frame that is almost a size 2. That whole idea that you can play a little bit with those dolman sleeves. But over the top of that, I have got a medium length duster in chartreuse that I've closed with the ties, and then a short duster in the same large check that I'm wearing like a jacket. So I'm wearing this more like a top and that more like a jacket, and you can see that you can wear them over the top of each other and you really accentuate the sweep of the hemline this way by emphasizing it with a contrasting color. So I thought I will take off the shorter one to show you the difference of what it looks like if you think, yeah, it's all a little bit too much, all those large checks top and bottom. Then this is the outfit with just the large checks at the bottom and then a lighter color in that medium length on top. But I will also show you the love tunic as promised last one in that we have in stock in the silver sparkle. And you can see here that it's a bit more fitted around the bust, but it still fits me comfortably, even though it's a size 1. So you can then, of course, bring, with an outfit like this, bring that short duster back and have the short duster over the top of the love tunic, where you can see at the back it almost completely covers it, and then you get the sweep of the hemline in the front. Lovely outfit as well, and of course it shows a little bit more of your love tunic. On to the size 1. I've just been telling you an absolute lie. I had completely forgotten that I had put this size 1 outfit together that also has a joy jacket. So I told you that the chartreuse joy jacket was the last one. It wasn't. Here is a steel one. Steel herringbone joy jacket combined with steel herringbone baggies, of course, in what looks like the large regular length, and underneath it another anytime top in that same pale gray that looks so beautiful with the lighter gray and the natural color of the undyed linen that's on the inside of the jacket, and of course also present in the herringbone. Last but not least, the size 0. Another pair of the Looking for Lilac breeches in the small regular length size, and over the top of that a black tabard, also in a size 0, in that black heavier weave, of course, because we normally do them in the heavier weave. And underneath that another anytime top in 0, just showing that you don't always have to go for contrast like I went here. You can of course just put it all in one color and it looks great together. So a last set of outfits based around tops. Here they come. So starting point, a top. In my case, it's a love tunic in size 2. Remember, I just showed you the love tunic in size 1 in the silver sparkle, and this is the size 2 on me. You can see that it's more roomy, but between the two, I could wear either comfortably. And so might you, depending on where you are in terms of size. Have a look at the fit guide. Every product page has got product details and then a fit guide below. But if in doubt, give me a shout and I'm happy to help. So starting with the size 0 this time, that is a love top. So you can see the difference in length between a love top and a love tunic. In terms of shaping, they are completely identical. It's just the length that it's a difference. The love top doesn't quite cover your tummy. In my case, it's only just below my waist because of my height. And of course, on a shorter frame, it'll cover a little bit lower. That is a love top in size 0 in Sweet Pea, worn with a pair of small baggies in the regular length in brown crossweave. Of course, that kind of mint chocolate type combination looks fantastic together. Then moving on to the size 1, this is a pair of baggies in the large regular length in Rivulet, same color as that size 2 play suit that I showed earlier on, and then with a size 1 love tunic in the blue stripe. I've got the love tunic on in blood orange, and I'm wearing it with a pair of slackers in the large long length and large size long length in lava. Beautiful together with blood orange because of course they've got a color in common, which is magenta. And then last but not least, the size 3 in a beautiful chartreuse love tunic, worn over the top of a large regular length panel skirt in fig. Of course, fig is one of the out of stock fabrics. So again, all the fig garments that you see in the ready to ship selection are the last fig items that we have. To close off, I am going to add a tunic over the top of all four of these outfits to create some color contrast and show you how you can combine these tops to great effect. Here we go for the last bit. And here they are, starting on my right, in fig, coordinated with the skirt, a mini tabard in size 3, so you can see the part of the love tunic, of course, sticking out underneath. Then in a size 2 smock in turmeric over the top of my blood orange. Lovely contrast with the blood orange and just about covering the bottom of the tunic. So you just have the bit at the top and the sleeves sticking out. Same goes for the size 1. Another smock in a size 1 in black currant, last bit of black currant. And then last but not least, the size 0, a size 0 tabard in apple. Lovely contrast, I think, with the soft color of the sweet pea and then the stronger color of the brown. I really like that color combination. But I think all of them are really well coordinated, go together really well. And I could, if I had these pieces in the different sizes, I could swap and change just amongst these pieces and make lots more good color combinations. And that is what I always endeavor to do with Layercake, with all the different fabric colors that we have, that you can create your own colorful wardrobe to the point that you can almost reach blind in your wardrobe and come up with an outfit that looks great together with unexpected color combinations and just a fun outfit for every day. So like I said at the beginning, I'll do a separate episode down the pike when I have an opportunity to do it with non-layer cake outfits that you can then add one layer cake to. So for both of you who are a little bit overwhelmed by creating these complete outfits, I will show you examples of non-layer cake clothes with then one layer cake at a time added, so that it's a softer integration within the rest of your wardrobe. I hope you enjoyed this. Have another look at the website and see if there's a bargain to be had for you, and I'll see you again soon.